Hey guys, it's Kamate. I am back with another tutorial. Let's get right into it. We are talking brows. Okay, stay tuned so you can see how I achieve my eyebrows. Alright guys, so I have a fresh face and let's talk about brows. So as you can see, mine are very thin naturally, and I'll zoom in so that you can get a closer look. Let's talk about brow products. I would say that there are 4 popular brow products. 1 is pencil, 2 is pomades or dip brows, 3 is powders, which are very similar to eyeshadows, and number 4 are gels, which look like mascara wands, but well, they look like a mascara, but they're for the brows. Wow, it better be an emergency. All right, moving on. So I find that there are also different eyebrow hair textures. I would say that my eyebrow hairs are very thin and fine. Like the hairs itself, like each hair is very fine, and with that texture here, I find that when I do want to, let's say if somebody doesn't wax their brows or thread their brows into a shape, so there's like no extra brow to conceal, there's no like extra frayed hairs to conceal. If someone wasn't to thread or wax their eyebrows, I find it to be so much easier to use concealer and it's covered, whereas someone with more coarse eyebrow hairs, like more definition to the brows, I think I'll have pictures. I'll throw in like some pictures so you guys can see what I mean, because I don't necessarily mean bushy brows. You can still have very thin brows, but the hair itself, like the hairs itself, the texture of it are coarse. This is kind of hard to explain, but again, I'll throw some pictures in here so you can get a better picture of what I mean. Yes, so with people who have coarser hairs, it's harder to just use concealer to cover the hairs. Like, I know people are very anal about their brows. They go to a specific person, and I agree with that. However, if you are getting your makeup done, try to get your eyebrows done. I don't necessarily suggest like to pluck my clients' brows. I just try to conceal them as best as I can because I am nervous. I do not want anybody giving me flack because I took out a few hairs and it done messed up their shape. However, look, teach his own, ask away. But I'm not a surgeon. I can only conceal them as best as I can. And then you have other like permanent options, like the permanent brows that people do now, the microblading, and some people still tattoo their brows. So to each his own, right? Right. Me personally, I like the brow pomades. I do not say that word right. I'm going to say pomade. Does that sound okay? Pomade, dip brow. That is what I prefer to use for my brows, and people with brow textures like my own. So whereas your brows are, like I said, very thin, fine hairs. People with coarser hair, I think pencil looks better. I am not at all a big fan of brow powders, and I do like to use brow gels on top of like the pomade or on top of the pencil, but this is all, you know, preference and your choice. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to show you how I do my brows, and hopefully you try it. If you try it and it works for you, like honestly, write in the comments, let me know. So let's get you zoomed in. Now that I'm all zoomed in, you can see my eyebrows and how much it grows. Usually I use the like beauty supply store razors and just like razor that off. As you can see, that gives it a better shape so I can shape it better, but I just haven't had time. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a spoolie. This is actually a pencil from Café. I don't use this side of the pencil because, once again, as I said, I like to use the pomades, and I brush up my brows, and I definitely do this on my clients as well. Just brush them up. I like to brush them up and over, but I mean, again, my hairs are, we spoke about. I love to use the MAC 266 brush. I really haven't found, yes, there's product on it. I really haven't found another brow brush that I like just as much. So, I mean, you don't have to splurge on it. This is my BH Cosmetic one. But I definitely like to use, see, BH. It says BH right there. I don't know if you can see that. Not really. But I definitely like to use my MAC one much more. I do not have a number on this brush. I'm super sorry. It's like rubbed off. But if you go on their website and you see that like that golden handle, you'll find you would have found it. So the brow product that I'm going to use is from Urban Mix Cosmetics. The packaging is ruined, as you can see here, so that's why, you know, I use the color dark brown. As you can see, my skin is nice and dark brown, so I use dark brown. That's what that looks like. You can also use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. The only reason why I don't care for that one is because I find it to be a little too ashy. I don't like that. I personally like my brows to be a little bit more on the warmer side. And her product dries so fast that whenever it's time for me to blend, it's already dried down. So I prefer this product. If you ever have an issue where you find that your product has dried out, you can apply some oil in it, or, you know, a serum that you use. Put a few drops in there and it should be revived. I don't do anything fancy. I just dip the brush in there. Don't swirl it around or anything. Literally just pop your brush in there. And I'm going to start right here, so a little bit before the front. And I'm just going to trace my bottom. Goodness gracious. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I am going to start a little bit before the very front of the brow, and I'm just going to follow the shape that's at the bottom. This is a little tough to explain just because I do have these little frayed hairs, but if you can avoid that, if you haven't waxed or threaded your brow, if you can avoid that and kind of follow the shape that you see the brow can be if it was waxed or threaded, you will do a better job at creating the shape of your brow. And then I'm going to start right here, so not at the very front once again, and I'm just going to stroke up. You want to make light strokes. Everything is relative when doing your brows, so if you want them a little thicker, like, you would have to trace a little bit above your natural brow. I'm just gonna turn my head. And I'm just following the shape through that I created. I'm going to go a little bit past my natural brow because I feel like mine stopped very short and I don't like that look on my face. I think that they should be a little bit more extended. And now with the remainder of the product that's on the brush, I'm just going to push the product up. In this part, I'm literally just fixing any flaws that I feel are there to create the best shape. And now I'm going back in with my spoolie and I'm brushing up the brows. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start at the peak of my brow and I'm going to clean it up very close to my brow and using small strokes. And now I'm just blending the product. And now I'm going to move forward to the front of the brow. And now I'm just blending it down. So now I'm going to take my finger, because I don't like to add too much product to the front of the brow, so whatever my finger smudges, that's what I use for the front, and I'm just going to blend the rest of the product. So because I concealed it and basically cleaned up my brow, this shape for me is still not precise enough. I'm gonna add more product in here and clean up the peak of my brow. So this is my brow, and I find it to be a little too dark. I personally like my brows to be off brown color, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my tinted brow gel in the color Chocolate from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Get all that product on my hand. And that's what that looks like. And I'm just gonna brush up my brows, and this also. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this brow, finish my face, and I will be right back. That is the end of the tutorial. So you see how I apply my brows, some tips, some tricks that you can use to get the perfect brow. One thing that I forgot to actually mention that I want to talk about now is I don't clean the top of my brows. I find that it can look nice. I know, like in the 2010 through 2013, people used to clean the brow with like 20 shades lighter of a concealer, and it would just look like a halo over your brows. Because we've moved on and graduated from that, I ain't even gonna cut nobody ass no more about that, because they're not doing that no more. But I do find that, okay, sometimes I'll use my foundation color to clean up the brow. Like if I'm just off that day and I'm not trying to redo the brows, I'll do that, but it's very seldom that I do that. I find that when you do clean the brows on top, it makes it really, really crisp, and I think that looks good for certain looks and certain eyebrows, but I don't know, I kind of don't mind it not being too perfect, if that even makes sense. Like I don't know, I don't mind it. I guess, I don't know, I be trying for mine to be bushy, but ain't no Cara Delevingne over here. I just have these thin brows, but that is all right, because I can fill them in. 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 Ah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, and follow me on Instagram at king_kamate. Thank you guys, and have a good one. I can't wink.